it up, swashbucklers! You're listening to Under the Crossbones, episode number 196. My name is Phil Johnson. I'm your host for the show and the ship's HVAC technician each and every week. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling your friends. Thanks for visiting sponsors, sending donations, all that cool stuff that you do that helps me keep the old boat afloat. I appreciate it. We're brought to you today by Scuba Wise and Pirate Radio, The Treasure Coast. We'll chat more about them later. So, episode number 196, fun fact about the number 196. A lady named Cassie DePeckel holds the world record for traveling to 196 countries in under 2 years. And she did it in the service of promoting sustainable tourism, which I think is a fantastic idea. I don't think people travel nearly enough, and when you travel more and you see new places, you understand other people and the world better, and it's a great place. And if you want to find out more about her, or the tour she did, the world tour, the speaking, the book that's come out since then, it's a really great project. You can find out more about Cassie DePeckel at expedition196.com. So there's that. So yeah, fun fact for 196 today. That's pretty cool. My guest today is Dan Blevins Catalano of the Devil's Gauntlet, which is a ship. And we are going to, he's been building this ship, rebuilding this ship from the hull up for the last 15 months. And we're going to talk about how he's going to use it to help military veterans overcome PTSD and addiction with maritime work on the ship. We're going to talk about his TV show plans and dealing with Hollywood. We're going to talk about what he's over the next year. He's going to be trekking up and down the coast, doing entertaining and educational things with the ship. He's an interesting dude, and I think you're really going to enjoy our talk. It's a good one. If you're enjoying the show, and I hope you are, come join us over on Facebook. That's facebook.com/Under the Crossbones. On Twitter, we're at Under Crossbones. No the in that. And do make sure that you're subscribed in whatever app you happen to be listening to this right now. Just click that little subscribe button right there. It's free, of course. We're not going to charge you any money. And then that's you'll get the new episodes every Tuesday as soon as they come out. So it's cheap, it's easy, it's cheap, it's free, it's easy. That's what we do here on the podcast thing. We give it to you for free. And let's see, I think, and the show notes for this episode, of course, will be at underthecrossbones.com/196. I had the last week for me has just been face down, doing the work, did a couple shows. Benicia and Oakland were fantastic. Had a really great time with those shows. I've been recording a whole bunch of new interviews for this show. I've been in pre-production for filming my comedy special in August. It has just been face down in the laptop and just doing the work and getting it done, which means I don't have any super exciting updates to tell you about. I did go see Toy Story 4 over the weekend, and that was cool. It was fun. It was good. Tugs the heartstrings like Pixar is known to do. I don't think they needed to do a fourth movie, and I still don't think they needed to do a fourth movie. But it's a fun one. It's go watch it. It's Pixar. It's never going to be bad, right? It's always going to be at least pretty darn good. But lots of traveling coming up. This weekend, I'll be at the Pirate Invasion of Long Beach in Long Beach, California, co-MCing on the main stage there with Adam the Juggler. And it's going to be a fantastic time. I will be doing Facebook Lives all weekend from the show, from the festival. So make sure that you kick on over to facebook.com/Under the Crossbones if you want to check out some of those Facebook Lives. I'll be having the bands on, all kinds of good stuff. It's going to be great. And if you're joining us at the festival in person, be sure to come and say hi. I know lots of you guys are coming out, and I would love to hang out with you and talk and say hey. After that, July the 3rd, I'll be at Wind River Casino in Redding, California. And July 11th, I'll be at the Rampart Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. Both of those are headlining shows. July 12th, I'll be at on a show called The Hilarious 7 at the Hooters Casino in Las Vegas, Nevada. And on the 13th of July, I'll be at Jokesters Comedy Club at the D Casino, also in Las Vegas, Nevada, doing a whole Las Vegas weekend that weekend. It's going to be a lot of fun. Always love playing Vegas. And the big show, August 16th at the Comedy Palace in San Diego. We're filming my new special, my fourth special. It's called Burning Sensation, and it's going to be fantastic. So if you happen to be near San Diego, or you know friends near San Diego, or you just want to come into San Diego, on August 16th, we're doing two shows that night, 7:30, 9:30 at the Comedy Palace. You can get tickets by going to PhilJohnsonComedy.com/San Diego. It's the easiest way to get there. And use the code PHIL50, PHIL50, PHIL50 to get 50% off your ticket price. Sometimes people don't want to use a discount code because they think it harms me in some way financially. It does not. Please use the discount code because that is how the club is tracking how much to pay me, and that's important. Yes. And we want to pack it out. It's going to be so much fun. I'm looking forward to it. We are sponsored today by a lifetime experience brought to you by Scuba Wise Treasure Expedition, Sunken Treasure Workshop. This is a pretty amazing thing, and it's very reasonably priced. And if you like being in the water or you want to go treasure hunting, do this, please. You're going to spend the day with world-renowned treasure hunters in the Florida Keys, learning how to find sunken treasure on the 1733 fleet of Spanish galleons. Cool, right? Yeah, it's family-friendly. You can scuba it, you can snorkel it, you can just come along on the boat ride. If you don't even want to get in the water, that's cool too. You'll explore real sunken Spanish galleons. You're going to see cannons, all sorts of good stuff from that time period. And your hosts are amazing. Captain Carl Fismer, who is a world-renowned treasure hunter, kind of considered like the real-life Indiana Jones. You heard him back on episode 108 of this show. He's going to be one of your hosts. Captain Bradley Williamson from episode 181. Yeah, you've also seen him on the Expedition Unknown on Travel Channel. He's going to be taking you down in the water. And, of course, Dive Master Mark Littleton, who's got 35 years' experience of recovering artifacts from ships like the Andrea Doria and the Pinta and a whole bunch of other stuff. And this isn't just some fluffy, you're going to float you in the water and then send you on your way kind of thing. You're going to learn how to find good shipwrecks to salvage. You're going to learn the legalities around doing so. You're going to learn all about the technology used in wreck diving. And if you want to go full bore, they're even going to show you how to find the money, find the money from sources to do your own project, your own shipwreck diving project. If you want to get into it that deep, you can do that. You'll also get pictures of your trip included for free, a certificate of completion, and, of course, new friends that'll last a lifetime. To find out more, go to underthecrossbones.com/scuba. That is underthecrossbones.com/scuba. And you can get a free treasure map just for checking them out. Again, go to underthecrossbones.com/scuba. Sign up for the Scuba Wise Sunken Treasure Workshop right now. It's very reasonably priced. If you're even thinking about this is a fun idea for you, it's very reasonably priced. Definitely go check them out. All right? Make sure you hit our support page as well if you want to support the show. I got all the show. Who was that guy? With the TV show. The show. We've got a wonderful show for you. I can't think of his name. With the Beatles on the 60s. And, oh boy, Brez, I'm going to have to look that up after. I know you're screaming it into your radio at me, right? Ed Sullivan. I got it. I heard you. I heard you screaming it into your headphones and into your car radio, Ed Sullivan. That was a lot of work just for a word that I just messed up out of my mouth. Anyway, if you would like to support the show in another way as well, you can do that. Go to the support page, underthecrossbones.com/support. Right there, there's a little PayPal box. You can drop a donation in there of any amount that you feel is appropriate. There's an Amazon banner. Click that Amazon banner. Go buy yourself something nice at Amazon. And Amazon will kick me back a few shekels, and that helps out too. If you want to be a sponsor of the show, like Scuba Wise or Pirate Radio or the Treasure Coast, or any of the other great sponsors we've had, there's also information there to do that, all right? And now, so let's get into it. I had a great time. I went out to visit the Devil's Gauntlet and visit with Dan Blevins Catalano to find out more about what he's going on. So this is an in-person-y kind of thing. There is video of, there's a video tour of the ship in the show notes. Click through and be sure that you watch that. It's about 6 minutes or so. And we filmed the ship, and he took us around and gave us a tour. So that's in there. During the interview, you'll notice there's a very loud bird that keeps chirping. That is Dan's bird. We are down in the underside, under the whatever the ship term is. We're down inside the ship. I should know these things by now. Really, I should. We're inside the ship, underneath in the hold, and there's a bird. He's got a pet bird down there that likes to get in on the conversation. So that's what you're hearing. It's not a pirate without a parrot, right? All right, so let's get into this. This is my talk with Dan Blevins Catalano on the Devil's Gauntlet. Check it out. All right, so Dan, tell me about the Devil's Gauntlet and give me some of the why. Give me some of the background.
First off, welcome everybody to the Devil's Gauntlet. The why behind the Devil's God. I had been hit with cancer. I'm a veteran.
Okay.
I spent some time in the VA. I had a charter business in Cabo on another pirate ship, the Buccaneer I built. So I was coming from Cabo to Fresno to the VA once a month driving.
That's a long drive. Now, where's the VA that you were coming to?
I was going to the Fresno VA from Cabo.
Oof. All right. Yeah, that's a
long drive. 31 trips I made from Cabo over a 9-year period. But anyways, in the VA, I ended up spending a few days there when they gave me some chemo at one point.
Okay.
And I seen how badly they were treating the veterans, seeing how badly the health care was for veterans. Give them pills, shove them in a corner, and let them die, right?
Right.
So anyways, I at the time, the only thing on TV down there was the new stuff. What's it called? Reality TV or whatever it is. Yeah. So anyways, I turned the TV off because I was bored with it.
Sure.
You only watch so many alligators and pawn stars, right?
Exactly right.
So anyways, the lady comes in, the nurse, and she goes, "Why don't you have TV on?" I said, "Because there's nothing on." I said, "It's just junk on TV." She goes, "Well, if you think you can write a better TV show, you do it." So, being a smarty, right? So, well, lo and behold, I went back and wrote a TV show, and I bet her $1 I could write a better show.
Okay.
So I went back to the VA a year later and collected my buck after she read my show, which was better than most of the shows on TV, and no copycatting. So my show, what it is I take veterans and first responders with PTSD, PTSI, street, and prescription drug problems.
Okay.
I dress them like pirates. I make them sign a round robin just like the pirates did.
Okay.
We make them talk like pirates.
Okay.
And they board the vessel. We search them for electronics, any drugs, anything. We take it all away from them. They have to live like a pirate.
Okay.
The boat has all modern conveniences downstairs, but outside a full-blown pirate ship.
Okay.
They have to learn how to sail, climb the rigging on the rat lines to set the squares, learn how to read the stars with a Saxon, learn how to do knot speed with ropes. They have to learn how to dive for food, use old school spear guns. They have to learn how to search for food and water on land. We're going to put them through some pretty treacherous stuff to make them learn, right?
Okay.
So they have a 58-day adventure at sea island hopping with no access to alcohol or drugs.
Okay.
And when you take a 10-year-old and dress them like Superman on Halloween, who do they become?
Superman on Halloween.
That's it. They're the Superman all day and probably for the next 3 or 4 days, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same way working with adults. You dress them like a pirate, all of a sudden they're a pirate.
Okay.
It takes the mindset off the PTSD, the PCSI, the drugs, and the alcohol. And you're working your rear end off on a tall ship. It's an all-day shift, and then you switch shift every 4 hours. So you got 4 hours down, 4 hours up. So you're eating as fast as you can, showering as fast as you can to keep your hygienes up, and then you're back on a couple hours of sleep and you're back at the helm or climbing a rigging or on watch, right? So you really don't have a time to, like the rehab problem that I actually went to 2 years of research through anger management programs, alcohol, drugs. I've never been an alcoholic drug addict in my life, but I went through all the classes to see why they had such a terrible fail rate. And the reason is because they always take you into your past.
That's true.
They never take you to your future. It's always what happened in your past. Right. Why did you do this? Why? Well, you want to forget about your past because you're moving into your future.
Right.
And that's all we do. And all the consolers on my boat are not professionals. They didn't go to school. But what they did do is been there and done that. They've been to prison. They've been in murders. They've been in alcohol. They've been to war. They've been there. They've done it. And they've overcame it. And they're living normal lives. And they prospered from it.
Interesting.
So those are the guys that are going to be able to help you not go down the path that they've already been down. And they understand that path.
Right.
Better than anybody.
What is I'm familiar with PTSD. I don't know what PTSI is. What is that?
Well, PTSI is more of a psychological than just the like a depression from PTSD.
Okay.
And I have Dr. Tim actually from the VA, one of the best PTSD, PTSI doctors, and also Kaya Redford, which you see all over the internet, that I've worked with too in the past, and also have him on film with Untitled Productions out of Hollywood.
Okay.
And I've been working with some pretty big companies, Disney, Think Factory, Untitled, Cream out of Canada. I've also wrote a documentary, The Rise and Reign of Captain Morgan, we're going to film.
Okay.
And the problem with what I've got going on is reality TV. What happened is you write a script like Pawn Stars. You already have the pawn shop.
Sure.
You already got everything set up. So it's scripted TV. And so, because, he doesn't know everything about every product that walks in the door,
of course,
even though he does, it's scripted. our show is a non-scripted show. So if you got a veteran on here who breaks down at 3 a.m. and he cheers and he's going to tell you a story, that's a real story. That's not a scripted story.
Sure, yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a lot more heartwarming, and there's a lot of viciousness that they'll be talking about, you know, the things of war. But you let them bring that to you. You never try to open somebody up, we've learned. And that way it works better for their healing process.
My experience with veterans in the past has been that they generally don't like to talk about that stuff much. So are you leaving it up to them to bring those things up completely, and just if it happens,
we're your best friend in the world, bro. We're going to show you how to sail, navigate, chart, do all the fun stuff on a sailboat, enjoy your life, dive, fish, do all this crazy fun stuff on land that we're going to do. And you're the one that's going to come to us with your story.
Okay.
And I've been doing this for a long time, so I've watched this happen over and over again.
Sure.
Just in 3 days with 4 veterans for a sizzle reel shoot, they all broke down one night, and all of them told their story.
What do you think it is about this situation that makes them want to do that?
Well, because you're not around people that have just been to school, that don't understand where you're coming from. They've never been on the streets. They've never been to war. They just went to school. They read a book. They passed a course. They got a certificate. Now they know your life. That doesn't work.
Right.
It really doesn't. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to put down psychological analyzers and all these people out there, but the physics with this is people need to know that you've been there and done that to be able to relate to you.
Sure. Yeah. That makes sense.
It's just like going to I went to a parent class for raising parents just to see what it was about.
Okay.
And I raised 4 kids.
Okay.
And I got an 18-year-old that's never had children trying to tell me how I should raise my kids. Because she's got a license.
Yeah. My mother ran a daycare center for 30 plus years.
So you were spanked as a child.
I was. Yeah, I was. But she's the same thing. She'll read one of these parenting books or something like that, and she's like, "Oh no, this has nothing to do with reality." That is not how it works.
Yeah, sitting in the mountains writing a book with no children around you is a whole different story.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, that's pretty amazing. So the initial idea for the whole ship and everything was the TV show?
Yeah. The TV show is what kicked it off, and then once I got into it, I went to Hollywood.
Okay.
And I figured, hey, I'll give them my script. They'll buy me a ship. They'll give me everything I need. And bam, man, I'll be out there, helping veterans and doing a good thing for the cause, right? And first responders. Because you got to look at it. A lot of police officers and sheriffs, like from 9/11 or been in, or had to shoot somebody. I mean, these guys are off duty doing drugs and alcohol because it just blew them away.
Right.
They need as much help as everybody else.
Sure.
And there's some that are still so angry they're kicking the shit out of people for no reason.
Right.
So those people need help too.
Yeah.
And we can do all that. And the way I wrote the show, it's so versatile. I can do 2 seasons with veterans and first responders, and next season I can do kids that were in foster care for their whole entire life with no parents.
Sure, yeah.
I can do gang members that just came out of holding camps for use. I could do men that just came out of prison. I could do battered wives. I mean, there's an array of openings here that we can start doing things to help people. I could do movie stars offshore for drug rehab and that's stressing out because the shows don't work for them because, as you've seen before on the Hollywood game, well, they bring you a hamburger with Reds in it and a pack of cigarettes and 4 joints and a bottle of booze and a milk carton, Yeah, that's rehab.
Sure.
So our thing is you can't do that out there. And what hurt me was, like I'm saying, is I had to spend my own money. I had sold my business in Cabo, everything to do this for veterans and myself too. And I get no help from nobody because reality took that away from us in reality TV because it was everything they had was already scripted. So Hollywood's saying, well, we're not going to buy a boat. We're not going to help you buy costumes. We're not going to buy a cannon. We're not. When you get it all, call us. So I bought all the pirate outfits, built the boat, black powder gun, swords. I mean, we've got 80 outfits. I mean, authentic hats. We've got everything to cover ground now. So we're almost at that breaking point where the boat's finished, and now we can start playing the game.
Nice, yeah. And so what initially led you to the pirate ship in Cabo? What took you? I mean, because that's not a normal story, right? What took you to a pirate ship in Cabo as a job choice?
Well, I lived in Fresno, California. I'm a Catalano, which we owned a lot of big grocery stores.
Okay.
I built custom fabricated hot rods from ground up for people. You bring me a pile and I make you a car.
Okay.
I did paint, upholstery, glass, electronics, voice activated doors, the whole 9 yards, everything.
Interesting.
Chassis, frame up restos or hot rods.
Okay.
And I also did Harleys. I've been in like 97 magazines already.
All right.
One of the few. And there's been most of the best builders around the whole country are out of LA or Fresno.
Sure.
I mean, you didn't even go out in the 70s and 80s or 90s and not see your friend's car because it was identifiable. You know, everybody had a custom car. Where today you can't do that. And bikes the same way. Nobody had a stock Harley.
Right.
In our day, it was if you can't kick it and can't build it, you ain't riding it. So anyways, I was a big, more or less, I bought property for my family and built grocery stores.
Okay.
The rest of the family ran the stores.
Okay.
There was big family disputes. Ended up in shooting my dad, killing one uncle.
Oh my gosh.
It was, Italians, bro. So
all right.
Normals.
I get
it. None of the family talks to each other. My dad passed a few years ago.
Huh.
I ended up in a bad divorce, and my ex-wife was dating a Fresno County PD officer, so it made my life very miserable.
Okay.
So I ended up selling my big home and my shop and all my toys and everything and buying a big 40-foot, 78-foot hull, just a metal hull.
Okay.
That had been called the Ghost Ship in Santa Cruz for about 40 years.
Okay.
I dug the history of the boat out, and 16 months later, I was launching the first pirate ship in Santa Cruz history and the biggest ship ever launched in Santa Cruz.
Okay.
With about 40,000 people watching it go on the water.
Right.
And that was the
and not just the
Buccaneer.
one in Santa Cruz that swings back and forth, right?
No, this is a real boat. And anyways, I ended up finishing it with the original builder's son, John Fox, out of Seaside, Monterey.
Okay.
Long story there, but it was John's a great guy, and he owns Fox Welding in Monterey.
Okay. It's funny how many John Foxes there are in the world, because I work for one who is a comedy booker. He owns the Seattle Comedy Underground and actually books a show in Santa Cruz that happens every Sunday. So you said John Fox, and that my brain was like, John Fox doesn't know anything about ships. Funny.
That's good, though. I like that. So anyways, I caught a rope offshore headed to Mexico in the prop. So we had to pull into Monterey.
Okay.
So the boat's all done now at this point, except for a few building the cannons and a few hatch problems and stuff we were having. And I wanted to inline the shaft with the motor. So anyways, it was about probably 6 o'clock in the morning. I hear somebody on the dock outside the boat in Monterey crying.
Oh.
So I walked outside, and there's this 6'7" guy in tears because I put in memory of his dad on the back of the boat because he was the original starter of the hull, and his brother, both of them died of cancer.
Oh, wow.
Working on the boat. So anyways, John, standing there crying, I go, excuse me, man, but, can I help you? And he goes, I'm John Fox. That's my dad and my brother you put on the back of this boat that started this thing.
Oh, wow.
He goes, I never thought I'd see it in the water. I was going down the freeway, and here it is. So in that long story short, John came on board. We had coffee. I gave him open door to the boat. It's your home, too. He has a beautiful house right next to the aquarium. Ended up taking a 4-month trip with me down to Cabo, sailing the seas and enjoying the boat. The life dream of his parents his dad was to take it to Costa Rica, but we ended up in Cabo.
Okay.
They left, came back to the States, and I ended up turning it into one of the wildest pirate snorkel dive party boats in Cabo. Needless to say, it was a little fun.
Yeah, I'm sure.
9 years tearing it up. I had to get away from it before I was an alcoholic.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So anyways, I bought a boat in Florida, and I went down there, put a year into it, about 500 G's, and lost it in the hurricane 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, she hit a direct hit, put her on her side, filled her full of sand, and just ripped her apart. And that was the Queen Anne's Revenge, too.
Okay.
And so I stayed in Florida for a while, bought a fifth wheel, living down there, enjoying the motorcycle riding in Daytona and St. Augustine on my Harley. And went down to, I was looking at Craigslist in California and ran across this thing for $1 or 50 grand is what he wanted.
Okay.
And ended up finding out the guy was in bad trouble with the boat, had nowhere to take it, didn't know a thing about it, owed a yard money, had burned too many marinas, and had a bad name. So the boat was blackballed everywhere, so he had nowhere to take it. And you can't just go set it on anchor and walk away.
Right, yeah.
So I ended up buying the boat for $1.
Wow.
I'd say at this point, labor and cash, I'm a little over $1 million in it. And it's brand new from stem to stern, from the bottom of the keel to the top of the mast.
What kind of shape was it in when you bought it? Was there?
I'll show you some pictures so you can puke on my floor, and I'll clean it up when you leave.
That good, huh?
Yeah. I'll put it this way. We had 5-gallon buckets of feces down there from the homeless people living on it.
Wow.
And the stairs used to come all the way out to here.
Okay.
So you had like 6 inches of room to move through here, right?
Yeah.
To get into the boat. From this point, you couldn't walk through this boat. It was just stacked with old mattresses and fleas and ticks. And,
oh my gosh!
Oh yeah, it was quite the sight. And it took 4 trailers and 4 big dually trucks to empty the trash off of it.
Wow.
22-foot trailers with sideboards.
So I imagine only having that experience with those previous 2 ships, the one in Cabo and the one you lost in Florida, would give you the confidence to even attack a project like this.
I've attacked some. See, here's the thing about me that people are starting to learn is when someone says it can't be done,
okay,
I'm the guy that can get it done.
Okay.
And when I bought this boat for $1 in Richmond, the whole everybody at every yard there, KKMI, everybody said that's a 10-year project, $5 million, and if I put 20 guys working on that boat day and night, it won't see the water for 10 years.
Really?
And I've done 10 times the amount of work that would have originally been done because I turned it into a pirate ship from the original Sultana, which is the most documented ship in American history. And it's complete foo-foo on the inside, all granite. You know, I mean, this boat's fabulous, and it's all bright. There's not one thing in this boat used but the hull.
Okay.
The hull is the only thing used on this boat now. So basically, it's a 2019, 2020 brand new boat.
Sure, yeah.
It's got a total of 16 hours on the motor right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And the rigging's all new. Sails are new. I mean, fuel tanks, water tanks, holding tanks, all the pump, every wire in this boat's all U.S. Coast Guard certified, brand new.
Okay. How long have you been working on it?
15 months now.
Wow.
And like I said, it's just being me by myself. Mark comes down from Monterey, he's my wood guy. Comes on Friday, spends the night. Saturday, cuts everything up. Sunday, goes home and says, welcome to the puzzle. Have a good time.
Okay.
So during the week, I put the puzzle together, all the wood. Dizzy Zubia, Pirate Dizzy from Navago's president, comes down from Vegas, and he works on the boat for a week. He'll pull staples, clean, fix, and do everything that needs to be done. And it really helps me out a lot, you know, with him helping me out. And then, like I said, we had so-called veteran Kevin Hinman come down, needed a place to stay, just lost a marina in the Delta, lost a girlfriend. I felt sorry for him, let him move on the boat. To come to find out, he was came back when I was at my daughter's graduation in Fresno and stole $40,000 worth of equipment off the boat. And I turned him in at sheriff's, and nobody's seen hide nor hair of him. And
wow.
Yeah, pretty sad deal there.
Yeah.
And of course, everybody else he's got his own story. You know, he's put 31 hours in the boat, but according to everybody that met him, he owns the boat. So,
ooh, yikes.
Yeah, that's one of those bites in your rear.
Yeah.
And I work for him, by the way.
Yeah. As much as we like to play pirate and study pirate, we don't like to experience pirate necessarily.
Yeah, well, the worst part is pirates are like Italians. They just kind of sit back and wait. Commonwealth wouldn't be shared today if it wasn't for pirates commandeering ships. Remember that.
Right.
The only reason you have spices and silk and fine clothing and have freedom right now is because of those 2,500 pirates that fought for that freedom.
Yeah, certainly.
People don't understand that. They weren't just ruthless, toothless guys that went around killing people. They were trying to keep freedom.
Right.
And they also created democracy and insurance.
Sure, right.
And people don't understand that. Pirates invented insurance. You want me to tell you how that became about?
Sure. I think we know the story, but yeah.
And you went to battle. Right now, we started fighting with the ship next door, right? And you lost an eye and a finger and a toe.
Yep.
You get extra shillings. That's insurance.
Yep, exactly.
And you get that every attack we do, you get those extra shillings.
Right.
Okay, and then most people don't know that pirates weren't pirates 24/7. They ran restaurants, they ran bars, they ran pubs, they ran whorehouses, they did it all. And then they'd come out on the weekends and play pirates, so that way the British wouldn't know they were pirates.
Right. Yeah, I was just reading about Henry Morgan when he sacked Panama. The because of those insurance payments, the individualized payments to the pirates ended up being like not nearly as much as they expected, except for the guys that got hurt, because they had so many people on the crew and so many people that got hurt that they all ended up with like. They were like, "Oh, this is like $600."
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah, but you still got your pieces of eight.
Exactly. Yeah, right. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Well, see, and you know, like there's pirates that people really don't pick up on. Cavendish.
Sure.
You know who he was, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Cavendish, Thomas Cavendish. To me, he's probably one of my favorites.
Okay.
Because to this day, in Cabo San Lucas, where he realmed as a pirate out of Chile, today they're still finding the wealth in the mountains out on the point behind Pedregal. It's stuff down in those hills because he was a pirate there for many years, taking down the Spanish fleet. He sank over 800 ships in his career.
Yeah.
And there's big stories about him in Cabo. Now, the Spaniards that he freed from the ships, because they didn't kill everybody, of course, like everybody said to history.
That's bad business.
Yeah, because the window of the Pacific at that time was latitude.
Yeah.
They had longitude, but they didn't have latitude, so they had to find the window of the Pacific in Cabo to go to Acapulco to where they did all the trade.
Sure.
So when they were coming out of the Orient, they'd find the window. Well, the pirate would sit up on a hill and roll rocks down, let them know that these ships were coming in unarmed, because at that time it was the Lake of Cortez, and they'd never been attacked.
Yeah.
So when he found the maps offshore in Chile and ended up in Cabo off the maps he found off the ships he commandeered there, is how he ended up in the trade route in Cabo.
Right.
Well, for years, he took these ships down and released the Spaniards on land. Well, that's what formed the colonies on Cabo San Lucas, and that's why most of the women down there are so beautiful and have blue eyes and black hair. You know what I mean? Or green eyes. They're Spaniards.
Right.
Until you get to Tijuana, then you're at the border.
Sure.
You know, now you're border brothers.
Yeah.
So anyways, down there, what happened is Cavendish would stuff all of his wealth in all the hills and cracks up there in Cabo, and that's why it's all fenced off now.
Yeah.
And all these big resorts came in and started building. Oh, we're going to build a 300-room resort. And they ended up blasting it inside a mountain, finding some of Cavendish's gold and doubloons, and not turned into Mexico. And now we got a 3,000-room resort and one of the richest guys in Mexico. You know what I mean? So you got to look at how it goes. And that's for a real story.
Yeah.
And so back in the day, Jacques Cousteau actually came into the Bay of Cabo off the Sand Falls, and they sent drone cameras down to see all the ships that had been sank by Cavitus. And they said it was endless amounts of piles of ships. But the Mexican government wouldn't let them take a sub down 800 feet to check it out.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. And so Cavendish and his crew, what happened is they sank they lit their last Spanish ship on fire they commandeered. After they released everybody on land.
Yeah.
Well, a hurricane came in and put the fire out. So the boat ended up floating from Cabo into La Paz Harbor. And the Spaniards found it, rebuilt it, sailed it back to Spain, or Acapulco, and told them, hey, this crazy pirates, the one that's getting all of our ships is over here, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
So they brought the whole Armada over. And they saw them coming. So the spotter told the Cavendish, we got to go. So they left the wealth, the food, the vegetables, everything on land, and just jumped in a ship and took off like a bat out of hell to get back to Chile. Well, most of them died of scurvy, and then later on, Captain Cavendish died. And so nobody knew where all the wealth was.
Right.
It wasn't on the ship when they got to Chile.
Sure.
So there's some cool pirate stories.
Yeah, I'll bet there is. I'll bet there is. Introduce me to your bird here who keeps chiming in.
That's Fish. And he wants attention right now. He wants me to come pick him up and put him on my shoulder. He's like, hey, if you guys are going to talk pirate, I'm getting involved.
Definitely.
Here, let me grab him. So
all right.
Come on, you crazy. Hey, shut up. Want to talk? Nope.
Oh, now when it's got a mic in front of its face, it's like shy.
Yeah, scallywag.
So funny. So you're almost done rebuilding the ship.
Yeah, we're about three. Outside's actually almost complete. As soon as the boot's done, you see her going on.
Yeah.
We have the cage to make for the AC because we have vintage AC from the pirate days.
Yeah, right.
You can't be too comfortable, right? And we're making the boots for the mast and the bowsprit and the rudder right now, so you can't get water inside.
Yeah.
And then we have 8 8x8 or 6 8x8 posts we have to put on out of solid Honduran mahogany. With copper rings around them to mount the 150-pound swivel cannons.
Nice.
That actually really fire.
Nice.
And I had one of them made into a water jet gun, so it'll spray with a 5-horse pump almost probably about 50 yards.
Nice. Very cool.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
So then what's the plan from here? I know you're not staying here in the Stockton Delta.
I've got 2 movie offers right now that I'm turn around, but they're waiting for me, of course, to bring the boat down to L.A. to talk more about it.
Yep.
I've also got my own show in the works. I've also got invites from a company called Dark Clan or Clan Dark Sail, which are all the pirates that are on Pirates of the Caribbean, Master Commander. Anyways, I've hooked up with those guys. They're a really nice group of gentlemen.
They are.
I just friended Gibbs from Pirates of the Caribbean on Facebook. They're part of their group.
Nice.
They're real inactive. They're real pirate actors.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be doing Oxnard has invited me down to the Maritime Museum.
Okay.
So I'm going to board kids, veterans, Cub Scouts, Boy Scouts, you know, the whole 9 yards, schools, handicapped kids. We'll make a handicap ramp so they can also enjoy the boat.
Nice.
So we'll be boarding kids. They'll be watching the riggers actually rigging the boat. So that's an exciting deal. Watch a guy hang 95 feet off the air and a line around his waist.
The number one reason I don't do that.
You'll be on board, I'm telling you. So anyways, it's going to be a pretty exciting deal down there, and I'll be able to sell my shirts, charge a $5 boarding fee. If you're a veteran or a first responder, of course, you're on for free, or if you're handicapped. But anybody else is going to pay a boarding fee, so I can start making a little of my money back I've invested. I also have 5 T-shirts I sell. I have my own nonprofit, 501c3.
Okay.
The Buccaneer League .com or no .org, and then so, you know, I'm going to be taking $30 photos like Disneyland does.
Sure.
I cut some of my pirate outfits with the Velcro in the back so I can dress you like they do the Western pictures.
Nice.
Get your whole family in there, take a picture, and then I'm having custom picture frames made I can sell. So you've got a T-shirts, hat, tank tops, sweats, and photos you can buy off the boat. And
Very nice.
I'm having silver doubloons, pieces of 8 made right now.
Okay.
That say the Devil's Gauntlet on the back and look like a piece of 8 on the front for tokens and souvenirs for kids.
Okay.
I don't charge. I buy them by volume and hand them out.
Sure, yeah.
I'll be buying phony little jewelry for the little girls that come on board that are scared of pirates. And so we'll make it entertaining. Dark Sail is going to be doing pirate shows on the boat.
Cool.
So they'll be swinging from their yard arms.
Right.
They'll be firing cannons live. We'll probably do some offshore events to take people out, maybe get in some battles with the French ship and the British ship, the Hawaiian Chieftain, Lady Washington.
Sure, yeah, when they're down there.
It makes it offshore excitement.
Right. Yeah.
And they're going to do sword fights on the show. Master swordsmen are going to do sword fights on the show at the harbor. So basically, we're going to be putting on some pretty good events. And a lot of people down the coast, and including you, Hunt Magazine, and a few other people we want to get involved. We're looking at maybe getting some bigger challenges going, like Balboa Island Pirate Days.
Okay.
Newport Pirate Days, because there are a lot of pirates around that area.
Sure, yeah.
Santa Barbara, I was there the day they, 10 years ago for their 200-year anniversary, the last time they were attacked by pirates. So we had a blast. That was an unexpected trip, too. I got a lot of good stories. So anyways, there's a lot of people that are enjoying the pirate's life, and they've went from the Renaissance fair of the medieval times down to the piracy Renaissance fair type thing.
Right, yeah.
I mean, they just had one in Fresno. I don't know anybody in Fresno with a bigger boat than a 28-footer. So,
right.
But they're all captains.
Yeah, yeah. And I missed that Fresno festival every year. I was literally there the weekend after to do comedy shows.
I've never been to it, but because my life's at the coast. But the whole thing is San Francisco wrote an article about the boat. Los Altos wrote a really nice article about the boat. The boat was commissioned as a Sultana in the San Francisco Bay for years. Did kids' birthday parties, big events and stuff until the owner passed away, and then it went to hell in a handbag.
Right.
And it was being ready to be floated out to sea, crushed or shot and sank and filled full of holes and made a reef out of it. And then I bought it, which everybody still thinks I'm crazy. But I'm the kind of guy, like I said, I like taking things that nobody will fix, like vets.
Yeah.
Or old hot rods sitting in with 20 million bullet holes in them and all the parts missing, just the body shell sitting there.
Yeah.
And them telling me I can't do it. I can do it with you. I can do it with a car. I can do it with a bike. I can do it with a boat. I mean, if it was an airplane, I'd figure it out. You know what I mean? So my thing is don't tell me you can't do it.
That's very cool. I think you mentioned San Diego was going to be your home port?
Well, actually, we're for now. We'll be doing. Actually, I think Oxnard is going to be home port for a little while. After that, I'm thinking about going down to Ensenada to the Coral Corral.
Nice,
because I really like Ensenada.
Yeah.
And then after that, we were unless a lot of things work out on the California coast, it's just really hard with all the restrictions that the laws that they've passed. Unless we keep getting restrictions dropped. It's hard to do business or even a nonprofit or even give people good enjoyment. You know what I mean? So, because I mean, even on a nonprofit as a donation, if I take 40 people out, there's still so many regulations on what you can and can't do.
Sure.
That you don't want to make one mistake because now you'll lose your license and you're in trouble.
Right.
So that's why Mexico and going over the Caribbean are so much more
Makes sense.
The right place to be. Plus, that's where the pirates really are.
Certainly. So tell me a little bit about the nonprofit and what the focus of that is.
Well, the big focus on our nonprofit, which I've never used yet because I'm still looking for somebody to run that nonprofit. I'm looking for a really good CO2 that wants to, CEO that wants to step up to the plate and handle it.
Okay.
Because like the whole Lady Washington, the Hawaiian Chieftain, those are nonprofit vessels. You board for a donation only, which takes you out of a realm of certain conspiracy to U.S. Coast Guard, which is you have to have so many different license regulations because now you're a Coast Guard certified boat. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
So you get around that by being on donations on a nonprofit.
I see. Okay.
Yeah. So I'd like to find somebody that would like to take control of this the CEO position for me because I'm a builder. I'm not a CEO, and work with me on the nonprofit end to really make it profitable to where we can actually start turning that money around off T-shirts, hats, photographs, boarding costs, and be able to put that money back in for veterans. I'm also hooked up with Shad at the American Veterans Association out of Los Angeles, which is huge.
Yeah.
And they were the ones that started 911 for veterans.
Okay.
So, and you got to remember 23 right now at a rate of 23 veterans a day are committing suicide.
Amazing.
Out of 2.4 million people.
Yeah.
That's a lot of veterans, bro.
Right. Yeah.
You know? And then you got to look at the normal American struggling on the streets on drugs.
Sure.
And, I mean, I've even seen sheriffs, police officers living in tents now. You know what I mean? Because they've destroyed their lives over their job.
Yeah.
And nobody's helping them.
Right. And it can be hard to find the help in that kind of stuff. All that stuff runs in my family too. So I'm
going through with one daughter. When my son was killed in an accident, and my daughter flipped out.
Really?
And it ended up being heroin and trouble. And I mean, she's doing well now. But the bad part about being in the valley is the police, once they got a tag on you,
right?
If they don't have anything to do, they're raiding your house because you're on parole.
Yeah.
Or they're pulling you over every 2 seconds. So you're going to the store. Well, you got to be doing something wrong. You know?
Yeah.
So she's actually had to move out of the valley just to be able to have a life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Interesting. Wow,
and
that's
crazy. Sad because Trump passed the second, that new law on giving people a new life that are coming out of prison, another choice in life. You know what I mean? So the police need to kind of abide by that. And let people have a life.
Yeah.
Because the harder they push them, the more destructive they're going to be.
Yeah,
Reverse
absolutely.
psychology.
Yeah, totally. What was your military experience like?
I did Fort Dix, 1977. I was trying to be. I actually went in because I lost 16 relatives in Vietnam.
Okay.
So I went in at a young age.
Yeah.
In good shape.
Uh-huh.
And I was white. I hate to say it. I'm not a racist. I love everybody. But Fort Dix, New Jersey at the time was very racist. My drill sergeants were all black. I was the only white guy in my whole platoon. And it was pretty sad. I had a drill sergeant at the end of boot camp take a rifle and beat the side of my head in until I lost the hearing in my left ear and cracked my skull.
Wow.
Then they made up a big story, and I was taken out of the military on an honorable discharge for medical release.
Okay. Interesting.
And it kind of destroyed it for me because I'd already signed up to go in. I wanted to be a American sniper.
Okay.
And I also wanted to be, at my age, I wanted to be a body recon, which was tag and bag and bring our boys home and see if I could find my relatives. Oh,
yeah. That makes sense. Yeah.
And I was a pretty tough little shit back then, so I was waiting.
I don't imagine that has changed.
Yeah, I was old Fresno fighter boy, you know, so.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's pretty amazing. And, I like to see that you found another way to accomplish some of those same things, you know.
Well, like I said, with my experience through the VA, losing my son, I've lost almost everybody in my family, but and watching friends die at 50 years old from drug problems or alcohol, I've taken all the bad that they've done, and I've turned it into the good they should have done, and I've taken all that bad and turned it into good in my life to help others.
That's fantastic. That's great.
You know, and I think that once they see that the dream's going on, it's going to be better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So if people want to get involved with any of this or ride your ship or come and see it?
The best thing for them to do then would be to go to buccaneerleague.org.
Buccaneerleague.org.
And check out our nonprofit site. I'm not asking for anybody to help me with money.
Sure.
If they want to donate, that's fine.
Uh-huh.
Right now, we're trying to get enough because I've spent a lot of money on the boat. Right now, what I want to do is get a T-shirt inventory started.
Okay.
So I'm working with a really cool company now. We're doing the ink print instead of screen print. So
okay.
That way, you don't have to sweat underneath this.
Yeah.
And we're going from necklace all the way down to the bottom.
Okay.
Around the back, and
nice.
We're making some really, really cool shirts. The hats, we're doing silhouettes of the boat.
Great.
We'll do hold fast. We'll do some cool stuff for that.
Nice.
Keep it piratey. And like I said, we're going to be doing a lot of entertaining on the boat, which is a nonprofit.
Yep.
So we're not getting paid for that. So if you come out the show, we got a treasure chest sitting out front. You want to throw a few tokens in for the guys putting on the show, more power to you.
There you go. So you're going to be hitting all the West Coast festivals and things
I'm
like
not
that.
a beggar, bro. I'm a go-getter.
Yeah.
And if I can't do it, I'll ask for it. And right now, I really don't need to ask for it. But like I said, if you're willing to do it,
sure,
more power to you.
Yep.
And if you donate a lot, by the way, you get a week exclusive down the Caribbean.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. So BuccaneerLeague.com, right?
Right.
Not Buccaneers, plural.
No, it's just
singular.
BuccaneerLeague.org.
.org. Sorry.
Yeah,
BuccaneerLeague.org.
I say .com because we're getting ready to structure Devil's Gauntlet .com website.
Okay.
And we're on Facebook under Pirates of the Devil's Gauntlet. You can check out our sizzle reels on the show. We've got 4 or 5 of them that have been professionally made. We filmed down in Honduras, Florida, San Diego. We rented the Bill of Rights. We've done some pretty neat sizzle reels with Untitled.
Okay.
Out of L.A., Jim Evans. But, I mean, I've been working on this, and everything that so far has been funded out of pocket from my business adventures in Mexico, which I don't want to talk about taxes in the United States.
Pretty amazing life, my friend. Pretty amazing life. That's fantastic. Well, this has been fantastic, and I hope everything goes as planned for you. I'm sure it will, and I think it's really great what you're doing here.
Well, it's great to meet you, Phil.
Yeah,
I'm glad you came down and got to board the Devil's Gauntlet. Enjoy some time with you.
Yeah.
Glass of water. I'm going to start probably pouring out some rum here in a minute for your drive home, so that way you're unsafe and acting like a pirate.
That's right. Very cool, Dan. Thank you so much.
Oh, no problem. And I've got, I wanted to bring up something, too. I have Don Brown, a friend of mine, opened the Code Rum on the East Coast.
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to be bringing that to the West Coast.
Fantastic.
I also have I don't know if you ever heard of Nelson's Blood, Pusser's Rum.
Them I'm not familiar with.
Well, here, I'll give you a pirate story.
Okay.
Nelson's Rum came about because Nelson, Lord Nelson.
Yeah.
He told his crew, if I ever die in battle, just make sure my body makes it back to England.
Okay.
So they carried a lot of rum because that was rations on the boat for your day's work, right?
Sure.
Well, they had these big, giant drums, look like a hot tub we have now out of wood, right? So Nelson gets killed in battle. Thousands of miles away from England. They're going, what do we do with his body so it doesn't rot and stink all the way back, right? Well, they put him in one of the big baths of rum to preserve his body.
Yeah.
Well, the sailors didn't know it. So they were drinking his destroyed body in the rum all the way back to England. So when they get to England, they got a pickled body and no rum in the barrel. And they pull his body out and everybody's like, oh, crap. So that's where the rum was named Nelson's Blood.
There you go. Okay.
Well, my buddy Jamie Pussers actually bought Nelson's Blood, but they wouldn't let him keep the name, and that's where Pusser's Rum. Jamie Johnson came up with Pusser's Rum.
Interesting.
So that's a real old English rum.
Okay, yeah.
And then you have now the Code, and they've also opened up the Pirate Winery. I'll show you the bottle.
Okay.
Out of Florida, too. So all the labels are pirates.
Okay.
I've never drank the wine, but I'm not a wine drinker, but they're pretty cool bottle of wine.
Neat.
Yeah, and I might be doing some sponsorships for with them on the vessel also. Maybe some commercials with them. And,
okay.
You know, what do you have in your wallet?
Right. Yeah. Very cool, man. That is really great.
Phil.
Good luck to it all,
you, brother. Thank you.
And there it is, friends. That was my talk with Dan Blevins Catalano right there on the Devil's Gauntlet. We were in the Stockton Delta at that point, and he's going to be all up and down the West Coast doing a whole bunch of things to make people educated and feel better and entertained on the Devil's Gauntlet. So that's going to be coming up. And if you want to find out more about what he's up to, go to buccaneerleague.org. Buccaneer singular league, Buccaneer singular, buccaneerleague.org. So many words coming out of my mouth today that I don't want to come out of my mouth. You can also find him on Facebook.com/Pirates of the Devil's Gauntlet. And of course, all the show notes for this episode are at underthecrossbones.com/196, including the video tour of the Devil's Gauntlet. So be sure to check that out too. Did you hear something you wanted to stick your 2 cents in on and make a comment, have a question, anything like that? Come on over to Facebook. Facebook.com/underthecrossbones. There'll be a thread about the episode over there, and you can chime in, you can pipe up, you can do the thing and talk to us, and we'll talk back to you because that's how it works. We're sponsored today by Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast, WKKC-DB, playing the best music of today's hits and yesterday's classics, and Pirate Radio Talk, playing the best pirate shows, including Under the Crossbones, 24/7, all commercial free. To listen, go to pirateradio.thetreasurecoast.com or pick up the Pirate Radio WKKC-DB app in your favorite app store. That's for the music station. For the talk station, go to pirateradiotc.com or pick up the Pirate Radio Talk app in your favorite app store. You can also kick it up on Alexa with the Alexa commands or on your Google Assistant. I think that's what they call it, the Google Assistant. You can do it with the thing on your phone too, and just ask it to play Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast, and it will obey. You can do that with Under the Crossbones, too. It'll do the same thing. All brought to you by iTreasure Radio, the very best digital media from independently owned stations, all at iTreasureRadio.com. If they had a few hiccups the other day because they were changing streaming providers, so if you were missing your Pirate Radio, the Treasure Coast for a day or two last week, that's what was going on. Everything is back to normal, and you can listen again, and you may even be doing so right now because that's how the thing works. I also have an ebook for you, Pirates of Panama, Buccaneers of America. It's by Alexander Exquemelin, and it's a good read. It's a fascinating read. He was a doctor that ended up on a ship with Henry Morgan and a bunch of other dudes. Wrote about his piratey experiences. And that book was released first in 1678, so it's real period stuff. And I've got a free, cool little ebook version of it for you. Go to underthecrossbones.com and click on the free ebook link, and you can download yourself a version of Pirates of Panama, and it's right there. And that is our show for today, friends. Thank you once again for tuning in. I absolutely appreciate it every single time you do. If you want to find out more about the Devil's Gauntlet and what Dan Blevins Catalano is up to, again, go to buccaneerleague.org or check him out on Facebook, facebook.com/Pirates of the Devil's Gauntlet. I have been, like I said, face down, doing the work, man. We've got some great interviews coming up. Next week, we're going to hear from Stephen Talty, who is the author of Empire of Blue Water, about Henry Morgan, right? So you might want to dig into that Alexander Exquemelin ebook first, get a little primer, right? And then we're talking Henry Morgan next week. He was also the co-author of A Captain's Duty with Richard Phillips, which later on became the movie Captain Phillips about the Somali pirates. So we're talking that too. And we're going to be talking about a book called The Black Hand, which is about the proto-mafia in New York in the early 1900s. Fascinating book. It was the first one that I discovered by him, and so we had to talk about it. So that's coming up next week. The week after that, Mike Hawthorne, author of The Hungry Horizon, about Bartholomew Sharp. So I put those two together for a reason, because Bartholomew Sharp sailed with Henry Morgan. So we're going to do some Henry Morgan, and then we're going to do so the next generation after Henry Morgan. All right. Week after that, we get back to some musical stuff. Bounding Maine will be on the show. You guys have been asking for Bounding Maine for quite a while, and yeah, they did a live performance while we talked. So it's going to be amazing. Bounding Maine will be on the show in a couple weeks. If you have a suggestion for a guest that you would like to hear on the show, whether or not you know them or are them or anything, shoot me an email at phil@underthecrossbones.com, and I will do my best to make it happen. All right? So that's it for today. Be sure to hit the show notes, underthecrossbones.com/196. The video tour of the Devil's Gauntlet is there. All that kind of good stuff. And if you're coming to Long Beach this week, I'll see you there. Come say hi. All right? See you next time.